Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 5 tips for incoming freshmen who are joining their high school cross country or track team. So without further ado, let's get into tip number 1. Also, shout outs to my mom's high school alma mater, Kamehameha Schools, out in the state of Hawaii. No, it is not a school for Dragon Ball Z, although that would be pretty tight, so y'all could learn how to be Gokus and Vegetas and Gohans and maybe even some Piccolos for all you Piccolo fans. Quick disclaimer, folks, a lot of these tips are under the assumption that you're back in person with your team and with all of your coaches and stuff, but I understand because of COVID right now, not all of these tips are going to be applicable right now, but when you are able to return to your teams, I think these tips are going to be great for each and every one of you. So step number 1 for us here is to don't second guess yourself. Join the team and don't look back. So listen, freshies, I know that you guys are all excited and nervous about what high school has to offer you and all these new people you're going to meet and all your new teachers and all the new responsibilities that you guys are going to have. But I guarantee you, joining a high school cross country or track team is going to be one of the best experiences you're ever going to have in any high school experience. So if you're hesitating at all, just take that first step, and that's all that matters. One of my coaches, he always said that the first step was always the hardest, and I truly believe that, because once you take the first step, each step just gets easier. And trust me, I said this in the past, the running community is just super dope and super friendly, and you won't regret it, trust me. Second tip here is to surround yourself with teammates who are positive and supportive. Look, I know that high school, a lot of it has to do with social standing and wanting to look cool and have the acceptance of your peers. So you may not want to be buddy with the kind of dorky kids who are cheering on their teammates and dancing and being goofy all the time. But in reality, those are the teammates that you want to surround yourself with, because they're going to keep you in the sport. They're going to be the ones that keep you motivated. They're going to be the ones to really bring you up when you're feeling down. And if you're joining a cross-country team or a track team, just to hang out with cool kids, you're going to find cool kids no matter what part of the track or cross-country team you're going to be on. But it's so important to surround yourself with teammates who are positive throughout a practice, throughout a meet, throughout a season, because that's just going to keep you going, hopefully past your freshman year and into all 4 years of your high school career. Tip number 3 is to join as many team events as possible. So what I mean by team events, not just practices and meets, but a lot of times I know cross-country teams especially will go out to various restaurants after meets, or they'll do pasta nights together the night before a big race or something like that, or they may just kind of hang out in their smaller cliques amongst the teams, and they might go get frozen yogurt, or they might go hang out at the beach or something like that. So it's really important to be involved with as many activities as the team has to offer, because it's just an opportunity for you to grow and be a part of such a great community. And if your team doesn't offer a whole lot, maybe you can be that freshman that says, hey, why don't we have a team barbecue, or why don't we have a team bonfire or something like that, and then you can start to help build the culture of your program. Tip number 4 might sound a little weird, but it's to ditch the friends who don't support you being on the team. So this one might be kind of a hard pill to swallow, but for all of you freshmen that think that oh, my friends at 13 and 14 years old are going to be friends for life, I really hope that's the case for you. But sadly, in life, people grow and people evolve at different rates. And I'm going to tell you right now, at 25 years old, most of the friends I had in middle school aren't necessarily my friends anymore. I'm still cool with them, but they aren't my day one guys and girls. So I think it's important for you guys to understand that 80%, or at least 80%, maybe even 90% of your friends in middle school are not going to be the same people you interact with past high school and later on into life. So if they're being kind of jerks to you, saying oh, why are you running? Running's lame, running sucks, why would you join a running club, that's so weird, maybe it's time for you to have a heart-to-heart conversation with them about that, like, yo, I like this, and if you don't like it, then that's tough. We can either agree to disagree, or like we don't have to be friends anymore. And this kind of goes back to tip number 2 a little bit, in that you want to surround yourself with positive people, because if you are truly like enjoying something that you're doing, why would you try to let other people drain that positivity and drain that joy from you? It's a lot more important in high school that you really just enjoy the time that you have while you're still technically a kid, because once you're an adult, your priorities change and you might not be able to do some of the same things that bring you joy when you were younger. So for me at least, it's really about, you know, finding people who will support you and all of your passions and endeavors. And our last tip here is to be patient and don't get discouraged early on. Listen, guys, 4 years can be a really long time or it can be a really short time. It's all about perspective. One phrase that I got from one of my coaches was that time flies for joy, but it drags for misery. So, in my opinion, if you're having the time of your life, then it's okay if you have one bad race or maybe one bad introductory season to the sport of cross country, because if you build on some of the lessons that you've learned in your first year, then it can only get better from there. I know for me, my freshman year, my first season was cross country, so I think I had a pretty decent first couple of meets. I think my PR goal after my second or third meet was like a 20:45. So I made the goal that by the end of the season I wanted to break 20. And unfortunately, I started developing shin splints about a quarter of the way into our regular season, and it just was such a nagging injury that I could never get rid of. And my PR at the end of my freshman year ended up being, I think, like 2015 or maybe 2016. So I was really discouraged by that. But my coaches and my teammates were super supportive of the fact that, yo, look, Robert, not many freshmen would still compete and still train with a nagging injury like that when this is like their first real sport that they're going into. They would have succumbed to the pain and said, I'm going to rest until this gets better. So you're learning grit, you're learning determination, you're learning all these types of lessons that are going to move on and make you a better runner and a better athlete. So it's really all about, staying patient throughout the process. You may be having a bad week, a bad month, or a bad year, just like that Friends theme song, but it's okay. It will get better if you stay positive and you continue to surround yourself with that positivity. So I listened to my teammates and I listened to my coaches, and I was able to try to keep that positivity during our winter conditioning period going into my freshman year of track. And I came in with the attitude that I wanted to break 6 minutes for the mile, and I wanted to break 2:30 for the 800, and I believe I said I wanted to break 60 for the 400, and I was able to accomplish all of those goals because, one, I was able to rest a little bit, so the shin splints went away, but also because I continued to listen to my teammates who were being positive and, not necessarily listening to my negativity or my inner demons, if you want to call it that. And because of that, I was able to run, I think, like 5:42 my freshman year for the mile, I think 2:24 or 2:25 for the 800, and then I was able to run 59, I think 59.1 or something like that for the 400. Now you're probably asking yourself, what does this guy know about being a freshman in 2020? He was born in the 90s. He's 25 years old. Well, you're all right about that. But what I do know is that in 5 years, I've coached 4 league champions at the freshman level in cross country and 2 back-to-back freshman team champions in cross country. So I think I know a little bit about what I'm talking about here, because a lot of these tips and a lot of advice are things that I pass down to freshmen every year. And, seems to be working out. But you still don't have to listen to me because it's a free country, at least this minute. So that's going to do it here for me, folks, on my 5 tips for incoming freshmen. Don't trip sophomores, don't trip juniors, don't trip seniors. I got more videos coming for each and every one of you, so be patient in the meantime. And if you can, go ahead and like and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend tell another friend. And if you got 4 friends with you, that's a group of 5. And, that's enough to start a season of Power Rangers. So that's pretty dope. So if you're feeling up to it, get on up and run with Rob. Enjoy your day, folks. Catch you in the next one.